Navy Chief Petty Officer Richard Goebel, Jr. Air Force Reserve Senior Airman Aubrey Hand, III. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Salvador Gonzalez, Jr. Army Specialist Brian Wagner. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Anthony Gallo. Army Command Sergeant Major Michael Allen. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Leighton Anderson. Navy Petty Officer First Class Megan Anderson. Army Staff Sergeant Kameen Anwar. Marine Corps Staff Sergeant Nazem Arda. Army Colonel Robert Barnes, Jr. Army Master Sergeant Ronald Beverly. Army Specialist John Bocher. Army Sergeant First Class Bobby Birch. Army Specialist James Burkett. Army Sergeant First Class Michael Coleman. Navy Petty Officer Second Class Cynthia Curran. Air Force Captain Don Golding. Army Second First Class Jacqueline Gutierrez. Air Force Staff Sergeant Laura Erbs, AG. Army Sergeant First Class Jeremy Hodson. Army Sergeant Thomas Hull. Army Staff Sergeant Bruce Jackson II. Army Captain Robert Jepson. Navy Chief Petty Officer Enrique Jograj, Jr. Army Colonel Herbert Jones, Jr. Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant James Joseph. Marine Corps Corporal Jake Kokowitz. Army Chief Warrant Officer Aaron Luciano. Army Sergeant David Marino. Army Master Sergeant William McCauley. Army Staff Sergeant James Myers. Navy Chief Petty Officer Luis Negron Leon. Air Force Staff Sergeant William O'Brien. Air Force Master Sergeant Jason Parker. Navy Petty Officer 2nd Class William Register. Army Staff Sergeant Michael Schweitzer. Army Major Roy Silvernail. Army Sergeant Zachary Skeegan. Army First Sergeant Ian Smith. Army Sergeant Justin Stewart. Navy Lieutenant Daniel Croswell. Army Staff Sergeant Anthony Torres. Army Sergeant Ulysses Wynn. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Executive Officer of Wounded Warrior Project, Lieutenant General Retired Michael Lennington.
Well, good morning, everyone. Today, we're deeply honored to be invited to the White House and hosted by President Trump in a ceremony marking this year's Soldier Ride. This is the 9th consecutive year our warriors have been so honored. Thank you, Mr. President, for that great honor. In addition to our warriors and their families, who I think we would all agree are the real VIPs today, is that right? We're joined by many distinguished officials, government, non-government, members of Congress, supporters, too numerous to mention, but I would like to recognize just a few. First, our Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Dr. David Shulkin, Secretary of the Interior, the Honorable Ryan Zinke, many distinguished members of Congress, both the Senate and the House, many of them veterans, Senator. Chief of Staff of the United States Army, General Mark Milley. Who is, sir? Mark and all the flag officers that are here from all of the services, thank you for attending and supporting your service members. Finally, I'd like to recognize Wounded Warrior Project's board chair, Captain Tony Odierno, a warrior himself, injured in Baghdad in 2004, fought through his injuries, recovered, and is now chairman of our board. Finally, and lastly, I'd like to recognize the service organizations, veteran service organizations, military organizations, and amazing nonprofits that are all passionately committed to caring for our nation's military, their families, veterans, caregivers, and survivors. Each of you and your organizations are doing amazing work, and I value your friendship and your partnership. The first Soldier Ride took place in 2004 when Chris Carney, a patriotic and caring civilian with some friends, cycled coast to coast to raise awareness and raise funds for our nation's wounded warriors. Chris is in the room with us today, right there. Please give Chris a big round of applause. Since that humble first beginning, Soldier Ride has grown to more than 30 rides a year and serves more than 1,000 warriors in cities across the country. For the 54 warriors participated in this year's Soldier Ride, yesterday in Annapolis and on the Naval Academy grounds, and tomorrow in Centerville, it's more than just a cycling event. Just as our warriors serve side by side on the battlefield, Soldier Rides are also side-by-side events, sharing camaraderie, rekindling friendships, or making new ones, and most importantly, giving back, supporting each other through recovery and rehabilitation. One such warrior that continues to give back and carried on a family of tradition and service as a combat engineer in the United States Army is Sergeant Devin Shy. Devin and his brother Eric, who joined us on previous Soldier Rides but couldn't be with us this year, were both grievously wounded in combat and are the embodiment of courage, selfless service, and an indomitable spirit. Devin fought through serious wounds to rehabilitation and full recovery, and today is living the WWP logo, giving back to fellow warriors and assisting in their transition to civilian life. We are proud to have Devin here with us today. Please welcome him with a round of applause.
Thank you, General Lewington. First, this is insane that I get to do this. My brother Eric first deployed to Iraq. I couldn't have been more proud of him. Everything that he was doing for his country and my family was just amazing to me, and I wanted to follow in his footsteps in every single way. While on his second deployment to Mosul, Iraq, in 2005, something happened to him. Eric was shot in the head, which rendered him a quadriplegic. Shortly after, I decided to join the United States military. Becoming a member of the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky, was one of the proudest moments that I'll get to live with. Becoming a member, due to my injuries on my deployment to Afghanistan, I had a long recovery. My unit was ambushed, and 3 of my best friends were injured with me. One of them is sitting with me today. I spent the next 2 years in the hospital. Like a lot of men and women here today, I struggled with everything I was doing. Nothing compared to the battle that I was fighting in my head. My greatest challenge was not being with my unit and leaving them behind in Afghanistan was very difficult. But I knew that they were going to continue to fight for the country that I love and I was so proud of. But not being with them on mission always haunted me. Soldier Ride has helped me find a sense of connection, camaraderie, that I missed so much. It also gave my brother a chance to connect as well. Wounded Warrior Project built me a specially made bike that I could ride with my brother and sisters in arms. It has been amazing to have my family by my side on every single ride and see their smiles helped with my recovery. And I can't thank all of you enough today for making sure that every single veteran is never forgotten. Now I consider it a great honor of a lifetime and insane. Ladies and gentlemen, President of the United States and First Lady Melania Trump, accompanied by Vice President of the United States, Ms. Karen Pence.
To all the heroes who are gathered here, to their families, to the patrons of this great project, members of Congress, on behalf of my wife Karen, it is my great honor standing beside the President of the United States and the First Lady to welcome you all to the White House. We're grateful to have so many who are of such great consequence to our armed forces with us today, as well as those who serve our veterans, our Secretary David Shulkin, Secretary Ryan Zinke, who serve in this cabinet. But on behalf of the President and the First Family, a special thank you to Lieutenant General Michael Linnington and Devin Shai. The Wounded Warrior Project is a source of great comfort to our veterans across the country, and it is an inspiration to the nation. Since 2003, the Wounded Warrior Project has faithfully served men and women who've been injured in the defense of freedom and paid a small debt of gratitude that this nation will never be able to fully repay. The White House has hosted the Wounded Warrior Project Soldier Ride every year since 2008. And the President and the First Family and Karen and I are so proud to be a part of continuing this important tradition. In fact, we're bikers, and Karen and I hope someday to join the Wounded Warrior Bikers Ride on a sunny day in the future. From the bottom of my heart, let me just say thank you for your service. And also let me say, as the proud parents of a United States Marine, it is the greatest privilege of my life to serve as Vice President to a President who cares so deeply about the men and women of our armed forces and the veterans of this country. So now let me say to all the heroes who are with us and their families, it is my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce this morning your Commander-in-Chief, the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump.
Thank you very much. I want to thank you, Vice President Pence, for your wonderful introduction, but maybe more importantly, for your incredible service to our country. You have done an incredible job. Thank you very much. Melania and I are deeply honored to join you all today and to stand here among real heroes. These are real heroes. Secretary Shulkin and Secretary Zinke, right in front of us, working so hard. I want to thank you for joining us as we pay tribute to America's warriors, and I call them America's winners because they are winners, and mark this year's Soldier's Ride. The Soldier Ride has been very, very unique. Lieutenant General Linnington, Devin Shai, and all of the dedicated people at the Wounded Warrior Project, thank you for organizing this event. Really great job, an amazing event. And thank you for serving those who have so bravely served our nation. On behalf of the country, let me extend to all of the riders and your families the warmest possible welcome into, I call it the People's House. This is the People's House. It's the White House, but it's the People's House. And I thank you all very much. especially all of the folks that are on stage with me. You are something very, very amazing. You've risked all that you have, all that you possess, to keep our people safe and our democracy secure. And we're going to keep it going, folks, for a long time, that I can tell you. In your honor, we're going to keep it going. You've earned our freedom with your sweat and your blood and your incredible sacrifice. We salute you, we salute your service, and we salute the flag you have so courageously protected. We love our flag. Thank you. The story of today's event is a story about America and the strength of her citizens. In 2004, a young man working in a tavern on the east end of Long Island, I know that end of Long Island very well, was moved by a desire to help his fellow Americans returning from Iraq and Afghanistan. So Chris Carney had an idea. With the support of friends, Chris rode a bike across the country to raise funds and awareness for the Wounded Warrior Project. Great people. He biked 4,000 miles. Wow. That's all it was, Chris. Where's Chris? There's Chris, stand up. Yeah. Wow. And raised at the time $1 million. This act of devotion to our heroes inspired others. And since that first year, the Soldier Ride, that's why we're here today, has become an annual event that unites and uplifts our nation. President Bush hosted the first Soldiers Ride at the White House in 2008. And I am proud to continue this incredible tradition. And we're going to keep it going for a long time. I should have it for about 7 more years. Most of all, I'm proud to stand here today before all of you and to share with the nation the depth of our gratitude and the height of our total admiration for these folks, for our veterans, for anybody in uniform. And that includes our great men and women in blue. And I want to thank all of them because they are just incredible people. Each of you has forged in battle the sacred bonds of loyalty that link our people together. Our country, our values, our very way of life endures because of you. And it endures because brave Americans raise up in every generation, and they really do. They rise to the occasion like nobody can rise to an occasion. To fight for this country and to defend its citizens with every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears in their bodies. Our way of life continues because of men and women who are willing to sacrifice anything and everything to protect their fellow warriors and to protect all of us. You've not only poured out the blood, and all of your blood in some cases, for this country, but you have poured out the love from your souls and from your hearts. Each of you has carved your place into the history of this incredible nation, and I can tell you, into our hearts. It is that love which brings us here today, which binds us together as one people, and which offers us the hope and promise of a future that is safe and secure and free. With one grateful heart and one mighty spirit, the people of our nation thank you. They really thank you and embrace you as you carry on this magnificent soldier ride. Good job. Good job. May God bless you. May God bless our incredible country. May God bless our warriors. And let's have a great ride. Because I'll tell you what, I couldn't do it. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in your seats until the President, Mrs. Trump, the Vice President, and Mrs. Pence have departed the East Room.